Hey y'all, I'm just gonna talk from the dome today. I don't really have anything planned other than what's been on my mind recently. And the number one thing I want to talk about, y'all, if you are a male who is saving himself for marriage, please keep going, okay? Do not allow this society to make you feel like you're doing something that's just absolutely crazy and nobody's gonna, take you seriously because you're a male and you're trying to save yourself for marriage. Or, don't have people make you feel like you're an oddball out just because you're trying to make that decision for yourself, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. Because I've talked to so many males just recently, whether they're related to me or my friends, etc., and they were like, oh no, Danique, I can't do that. That's what all of them have said. When I told them that I'm saving myself for marriage, all of them in return gave me a response like, absolutely not. You get what I'm saying? So I just wanted to encourage any male who is on the same path as me. God sees you and he's going to help you. Don't allow this society to make you feel like a healthy, positive image of masculinity is only wrapped up in the amount of women you can attract sexually, because that's not true, okay? But I feel like this society makes men feel like their value is solely in how many women they can have sex with, which is not true, okay? God made you to be strong, and one characteristic of strength is being able to have self-control over your own body. And being abstinent as a man, there's no other way of exemplifying strength other than that. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, I just wanted to encourage all the men right now who are on the same path as me. Keep going, okay? You can do it. That's the first thing I wanted to talk to y'all about. The second thing, the second thing that I wanted to talk about was the image of Jesus Christ, okay? I've talked about this before in my breakdown of the 7-day Adventism video that I posted a couple months ago. I've talked about this before, but I'm going to talk about it again, okay? So in Revelation chapter 1, verse 14 and 15, I'm going to read it. It says, this is a description of what Jesus looked like, okay? His head and his hairs, this is verse 14, his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in the furnace, and his voice is the sound of many waters. So as y'all can see, the Bible describes Jesus as having feet, skin like fine brass. Brass, y'all, is the color of a penny. If I can find one in my car, hold on. Brass is this color right here. It's brown, okay? And hair like wool, do you know, like on a sheep's skin, wool is nappy. It's what you shave off of a sheep. So if he had hair like wool and skin like brass, he was probably more related unto looking like a darker skinned individual. I wouldn't even necessarily say a black man, but he was probably Arabian or somewhere near there between Arabian and black. The area in which Jesus grew up in and where he was born, there were no blonde-haired, blue-eyed people in that area, y'all. And I'm not saying that if Jesus would have had blonde hair and blue eyes in real life when he was on the earth, that I would have never loved him the same. That's not what I'm saying. I would love Jesus if he was that color. But according to the Bible and according to genealogy and history and Google, if you just look these things up for yourself and research, Jesus was born in an area where people were brown skinned, okay? So I don't think that this should be a reason why you don't want to be a Christian anymore. I also was talking to a friend of mine this past week, and he was telling me, well, Danique, I just don't believe in the blue-eyed, blonde-haired Jesus, and that's why I don't associate myself with the Christian religion anymore. But I was trying to convince him and tell him that that's not even what the Bible says. So that's another thing I wanted to talk about, y'all. Do not allow the Catholic Church to stray you away from the Christian religion, because the Catholic Church is the reason why we think that Jesus had blonde hair and blue eyes, because their depiction, if that's the right word, of Jesus displays him having blonde hair and blue eyes. It always has. And that's one of the Pope's sons, y'all. That image of him having blonde hair and blue eyes is one of the relatives of the popes back in, whatever so-and-so AD or BC. I would have to look it up. But all this is simple research that you can look up for yourself, y'all. Okay? These things have been modified by the Catholic Church, just like the Sabbath. The Sabbath was originally on Saturday, not Sunday. That's been changed. The doctrine of the Trinity has been changed. The doctrine of the Trinity is not biblical. It's something that a council of bishops created it back in so-and-so AD. Like I said, I've already talked about this before in my breakdown of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. So just go back and watch that video, okay, y'all? Because I talked about all of this. But yeah, never, ever, ever allow things that have been modified and changed about Christianity to make you not want anything to do with God anymore, okay? Because that can't be any further from the truth. That's another thing that I wanted to talk about. The last thing that I wanted to talk about today was just making sure that y'all are all right. I love being a vessel for God. It's been very hard for me to get up on this video in the past couple months, y'all. Well, not the past couple months, but the past month, it's been extremely hard for me to get up on here because the devil has been attacking me left and right with distraction after distraction. Particularly pertaining to me waiting to have sex until marriage. The distraction in that area and the temptation that has been thrown at me has been ridiculous, y'all. And it's been extremely hard for me. That's why I started this video off by encouraging all the males who are on the same journey as me, because if it's extremely hard for me, then I know it's extremely hard for y'all too, okay? So keep going, don't give up. God is your fortress. He's your strength. He's your best friend, okay? Period. He sent his son down here to die on the cross for us so that we could have everlasting life. And another thing about Jesus that I admire is the fact that Jesus willingly desired to sacrifice himself for us. You get what I'm saying? Because all of us have been given free will. Even Jesus Christ himself. He came from God. He's his only begotten son. But God did not create Jesus like a robot to do everything that he wants him to do. Jesus had the free will to come down here and be hung and stabbed on a tree. You get what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind, you know what I'm saying? As you're going through your life, just think about that and think about the love that God has for you. I know that it's hard. It's been hard for me, y'all. I've been feeling like throwing in the towel, even with this page. I really have, because I still don't see the final result that I want it to look like yet. But I love it either way it goes. I love God. I love helping y'all, regardless of what it looks like, okay? But I just want y'all to pray for me. Please keep praying for me. Like I said in something I posted on Snapchat a couple days ago, if you've liked any of my content in the past year, please pray for me that I keep going. Please pray for me, because it has not been easy, okay? But yeah, I love y'all. God bless. God bless. Go back and read what I just read in Revelation chapter 1, verse 14 and 15. If you're having any doubts about Jesus, if you're having any doubts about what he looked like, where he lived, where he grew up, go search for yourself before you give up on God, okay? Please go do that, because it shouldn't interfere with your relationship, with your personal relationship with Christ. And that's another thing. Like, when you become a Christian, y'all, you really gonna have to change your life. You're gonna have to stop sinning. You're gonna have to, even though you'll forever sin, the sin that you do sin will be covered by the grace of God. If you get what I'm saying, it won't be like you purposely trying to just jump into sin, but you'll still sin because you're a human being and we're sinful. But Yeah, it's actual change that goes into being a Christian. It's change that has to happen within you, because Jesus convicts you of your actions. That's why a lot of people don't want to be Christians deep down, because they know that they will have to change their actions. So don't use his skin color as an excuse. Don't use Catholicism as an excuse. Go and search God out for yourself and ask him to create in you a clean heart, okay? And he will. I don't want none of y'all to be lost. I don't want to be lost. So please pray for me that I continue to stay on the narrow path, okay? God bless y'all. I love you, okay? God bless.